debuting an Absolute Championship for the 2017 Mas-restling. Really exciting. We're going to get our flag ceremony going on real soon. We've got a lot of countries being represented, and I just went around interviewing all the athletes. We have some really top-notch guys here. We've got Victor Golubovchuk, who's just, you know, awesome athlete. He's been so amazing. He's accomplished so much in Mas-restling, and one of his rivals who just beat him from Georgia is also here. So we're maybe going to be able to see some of their, you know, going head-to-head, see who's going to actually be the heaviest, the best competitor at that. Other than that, it's going to be an amazing thing. Make sure to tune in as we get this started. Peace. Followed by our other repping staff. We're going to go ahead and start getting our competitors going, leading by Tim Sahar from Canada. Go ahead. All the way down.
Dear athletes and guests, on behalf of the International Mas-Wrestling Federation,
Абсолютный чемпионата
I congratulate you on the start of Mas-Wrestling Absolute World Championship.
Бүгінгі күнге әтеққа бағарылар мақтал қылдарын. Ол күрдік Арнольд Классик фестиваль тәрияшілерге.
I would like to thank Arnold Sports Festival Organization Committee,
Америка Мастер-дыға Федерациятын президентігер От Хогенға,
the President of American Mas-Wrestling Federation, Art Hagen,
онна бұл чемпионатқа кәлбет бары дойдық спортсмендерге.
and all participants of this competition.
Бұл құраққа кім күшті, кім білімді, кім көйігі жұлырда ол көйді.
Let the best one win.
This is a ceremonial song. Moss wrestling competitions. We'll go ahead and invite our competitors to leave the stage. We're going to get this Moss wrestling competition underway. This is the 2017 Moss Wrestling World Absolute Championships. If you are new to this sport, it is one of the most intense tests of leg, back, and grip strength. You're going to be seeing some of the best in the world going head-to-head on this stage. We've got 9 matches coming up for you for some of the heaviest boys in this entire stadium going on to this competitor area. Stage, here's Sergey and Tibor. Sergey will be on the red side. If you're new to Moss Wrestling, red side gets a slight advantage to start the match. He'll get choice of outside or inside grip on the stick. You'll see the stick is about 18 inches long, and if you have the outside grip, it gives you a slight leverage on it that'll help you maneuver it out of the other opponent's hands. Doing the traditional bow, these competitors are showing respect to each other. Moss Wrestling has been a way for countries to get together and show a new sense of communion through athletics, and that tradition has continued today. Sergey has chosen inside grip, opting the outside to his opponent. Match has started and a quick pull from Sergey. Moss Wrestling is a huge test of strength. It's an amazing type of wrestling because wrestling is usually a contact sport where a lot of mobility and agility is required to get a lead on your opponent. Moss Wrestling is a little unique because you don't actually touch the other competitor, so it's almost like a powerlifting event. I've seen a lot of competitors with no other background than just a heavy deadlift do very well in Moss Wrestling. Having a strong pull can take you a very long distance in this sport. We're going to see what Tibor can do in response. So now they switch grips. Tibor taking the inside. Sergey has the advantage grip with the outside. Lined up. Another quick start. A little bit longer hold, and it's through. Quick win for Sergey Frolkin from Russia. Big hand for Sergey, everybody. Quick win from him. Next up, we're going to have Csaba Huhas from Hungary and Tim Sahar from Canada. Csaba is the under 125 Hungary Moss champion. It's a real pleasure what you guys are going to see today. I'm sure there's a couple people in the audience that this is their first time getting to see Moss Wrestling, and you're getting to see some of the best in the world right now going head to head. These are huge guys on this stage with a lot of power. You can only imagine what it would be like trying to beat these guys in a pulling contest. Tim Sahar from Canada taking the stage now. He's competed in the Arnold Strongman Amateur last year, so if you recognize him, that's the reason why. He's the Canada champion for the 105 kilo. Now, if you're wondering why we have different weight classes on the stage, this is the Absolute Championship. Every year, a world championship of this style is held to show who is the strongest, regardless of weight. Doesn't matter how big you are, all that matters is whether or not you can out-pull, out-grip, or out-maneuver your opponent. Csaba's getting in his zone. Tim Sahar is looking cool and collected. A lot of energy coming from red side. Quick pull, big start, he drops his shoulder and pulls him through. So a good way to win a Moss Wrestling match is to shift your opponent off balance. What Csaba was able to do there was actually step Tim outside of it. So he lost balance and his knee collapsed against the board. The way it works is that any other body part besides your forearms, hands, or feet touch the board, that's the end of the match and it goes to the other side. Looks like Csaba's going to carry the momentum over into this next match. Let's see what Tim's going to do in response. You'll see a lot of extra effort being put into the way they grip that stick. Grip is your first and last defense in Moss. All right, looks like Tim's taking a hard step to the outside. He's turn from Tim, able to pull it out of the other competitor's hands. Like I said, grip is a major detail. If you can't hold on to the stick, you will not be able to Mas wrestle. A lot of technique then goes into that, trying to angle the stick, finding ways to wrench it from their hands, finding weaknesses in their palms. Anything you can do to find an advantage over your opponent, you're working for it. Right there, they threw the cube to decide who would be able to get choice of grip on this one. Looked like it was red side. So Chavo will now get to choose his preferred grip. He's taking outside. A lot of energy coming from red. Tim's still looking cool and calm. Who's going to take it back on this one? Big pull, and Chavo wins the match. Big hand for Chavo, everybody. We have our winner of the second round. It's a best 2 out of 3. If you win your first match and lose your second, they will go into a third to determine the overall winner of that round. There, Chavo was able to take the first, Tim took the second, and then the final round went to Chavo again, making Hungary with their first victory. Next we have our third round, which will actually be a non-win, going to use pain. Our Tajikistan competitor, Arabov, unfortunately wasn't able to make it. We'll take him on stage. I'm guessing it will be giving him just a quick win. I'm excited to see what Ulysse Payne's going to do. I've been watching him grow in the Mas wrestling world. He recently competed. So we're going to give the win to Ulysse as a default. Arabov unfortunately had a medical condition actually and couldn't participate today. Against Anton from Russia and Ben Rudy of USA. Now if you're watching Mas Wrestling and you're feeling a little bit inspired, we're actually going to be having a stage tomorrow on the concourse outside of the expo where we'll be allowing people to come up and try Mas Wrestling. We'll have some of Team USA there as well to show you the tips and tricks of how to be successful. I've hosted a couple competitions now, and every single time we get audience participation, they are amazed at the level of intensity that's required to compete in this. Your body is put under so much tension and immediately, and you have to be able to maintain that and work it against your opponent through one of the most intense sports out there. Antoine taking the stage now. He'll be representing Russia. Russia has a reputation of being some of the best Mas wrestlers. They do have the advantage of experience, having generations of competitors coming from there. Ben Rudy from the 90-kilogram cast actually competed in the national championships last year, and he most recently won the US championships as well. So we got some of the best representing the Stars and Stripes right now. Antoine has opted for an inside grip, giving the advantage to his opponent. Ben starting with a hard lean. Antoine's countering that lean. Big start, quick pull, and Antoine takes him over. championship as well, so we have some of the best around the globe represented right now. Over 20 athletes in 8 countries represented. Next up, we're going to be getting Tomas Shido and Sivad Kajaya from Georgia. This should be a big match. Sivad actually just recently won the international championship last year at the Nomad Games in Kyrgyzstan. Tomas Shido from Slovakia, he's actually the absolute Mas champion from that country. He's also a heavyweight SkyTech champion in Mas wrestling. Big step. Oh, and Adam takes the round. It's a good strategy coming from Adam. You do not want these matches to take a long time. And Adam with the win, everybody. Hungary representing. Like I was saying, the good strategy in Mas wrestling is to make sure to win your matches quickly. Next up on the stage in our 7th round, we have Victor Golovchuk against Michael Stuzas from USA. Another Russia-USA match. This should be an interesting one to see. Victor had been a previous undefeated champion for, I think, a decade in Mas wrestling. And it was last year at the Arnold Sports Festival that he had lost his first round, or rather his first full match, in 10 years. That was Martins Lisis, one of the strongmen that will actually be on the Strongman Pro stage today. So Victor clearly has a lot of talent at this sport and a lot of strength to show. We're going to see if Michael Stuzas is going to find a weakness in his armor. Michael Stuzas comes from us from USA. He's a Minnesota strongman and 3rd-time national winner in the amateur strongman contests. If you love strength, if you love lifting, you're going to love Mas wrestling. So many of these athletes have a very strong background with the heaviest weights possible, such as our Minnesota strongman on blue side right now. Victor Golovchuk has a lot to prove in this competition, getting 2nd in the national championships last time. I'm sure he's hungry to regain his title. He's choosing outside grip. Once again, the preference goes to red side. They get choice of grip to start the match. You can choose inside or outside grip. Outside tends to have an advantage since he has more leverage over the stick and has a better dictation of how the grip will go. Alright, we're getting a strong pull already from Victor. He's angling, finding the distance. Big pull, Michael's able to stop it, meeting it. Michael's bringing his feet together, keeping his feet close, and he pulls him off balance. Round goes to Victor. I can say I've seen a lot of Mas wrestling competitions, and just be able to last for that long against Victor is pretty impressive. Michael's bringing a lot to the table, but it looks like experience has won out because Victor was able to take him off balance and shift him into the board. Once again, the rules are is that if any portion of your body collapses against the board, a knee, a shoulder, any of it, other than your feet, forearms, or hands, the round goes to the opposite competitor. You have to keep a solid foundation in this sport, or else you're never going to survive. Going into the 2nd bout, that's 2 out of 3. This is Michael's chance to take it back. He now has the advantage with outside grip. We're going to see if he can use that to take the win. Once again, Victor finding his angling. Big pull, and it's over. Victor Golovchuk with a quick win. Our Russian champion is definitely here to put all of his cards on the table. He wants to win this absolute championship. Next up, we have Karen from Armenia, Matrician, and then Roman Kalinin from Russia. Now, if you're interested in Mas wrestling and this is your first time seeing it, we're going to actually be opening up the stage to you, the audience, the amateurs, the newcomers to the sport, tomorrow at the concourse stage. If you want to bring a friend, you got a little bit of a rivalry you want to settle, I guarantee nothing will settle it quicker than Mas wrestling. This is pure manliness. This is pure intensity on this stage. Nothing says I'm stronger than you than being able to pull the stick from their hands or pull them over the board. Right now on red side, our Armenian competitor Karen is actually our lightest competitor in this Absolute Championship. Absolute Championships are unique since we do not have any weight categories. Now Roman, coming to us from Russia, he's got an intense pull. I've seen him throw 230-pound guys like they were nothing. Karen had actually competed last year Kyrgyzstan, and I've seen him have a lot of experience and a lot of intensity. Let's see if he's going to be able to counter Roman's intense pull. Karen opted for the inside grip, angling hard to his left side. He's going to try to drop his knees, and it's a quick win for Roman. It takes a lot of bravery to enter into an absolute competition. I've done it myself, and even when the guy only has 30 pounds on me, believe me, you can feel it. So for Karen to be going up against some of the heaviest guys in the world just shows a lot of heart from this Armenian competitor. Switch of grip, Roman getting outside. We're going to see what Karen's going to be able to do to counter that. From my experience, whenever you're going against a guy with a heavier pull, your only bet is to try to drop your shoulder. Another quick win to Roman. Roman Kalini from Russia. Next up, we have Jacob Finnerty and Dominic Juhas. Dominic is actually the son of one of the prior competitors from Hungary, the son of Csaba Juhas. So we got some family love going on right now on the stage. Jacob Finnerty is one of our Team USA competitors, actually representing the USA at the International Championships in Kyrgyzstan last year. He was able to take second place. So he clearly has a lot of strength and a lot of experience to bring to the stage. This should be one of our more interesting matchups of the day so far, so keep your eyes peeled. Jacob's getting red side, choosing for the outside grip on the stick. Jacob's known for his intensity that he brings to the stage. I'm excited to see what he can pull off. Dominic, no stranger to strength. He's gotten third place before in Hungary. A long stance from Jacob, big pull. Looks like we had some good aggression out of the start. Jacob with a big pull takes him off balance. Impressive side from Jacob. That's a technique where you try to really saw it out of the opponent's hands, shifting from left to right as quickly as possible, trying to catch them off balance. Jacob fortunately was able to keep his center, and it wasn't effective in shifting him off balance. After Dominic had done his little bout, he was able to shift him off balance and get him over to his side. Dominic's last chance to be able to stay in this first round. Bringing a lot of intensity to this. If you've ever done a Mas wrestling match, you know how important it is to be 100% dedicated to what's happening on right in front of you. If you have a single moment of weakness, a single moment where you let up, the other opponent's going to take advantage of it. A lot of ceremony going into this grip. You want to make sure to have a solid hold on it, otherwise you're going to have no hope in your match. I've seen matches before take 30 seconds before it actually started. Big step up from Dominic. It's looking like he's getting the height advantage. Oh, but it pulls out, and Big Jacob with a quick win. Impressive show from Team USA, Jacob Finnerty, taking his first victory of the day. Good sportsmanship from both of them. That closes out our 9th match for the beginning men's competition. We are now going to move on to our ladies. We have a few less competitors with only 4 girls actually competing today. Our first match is going to be Lindsay Hall against Dorada Orlova from Russia. A lot of history in Mas wrestling. She was at the World Championship last year and was able to take home a gold medal. Lindsay Hall is a newcomer to Mas wrestling, but she is no stranger. She is no stranger to strength. All right, we're going to see what Lindsay brings to the table to defeat this experienced athlete from Russia. Working hard to make sure to get that grip advantage. You can see them wrenching their wrists. You want to make sure the friction is working for you at the beginning of the match. A quick pull. Looks like Lindsay's holding solid, but Turaya is working on her angles. Stepping to the left, Turaya tries it and spins her off balance. Great show of technique from Turaya. Lindsay's getting some coaching from her side. That's a good technique used by Russia when you have a competitor that has more strength from you. You can actually use their intense pull, using the tension they're creating with their legs and back against them. By stepping to the outside, they're working so hard pulling against the stick, it'll actually shift their weight over so far that they lose balance and collapse against the board. Watch closely on the next match. I would not be surprised if blue side uses the same technique again. We're going to see what Lindsay Hall does to counter it. Lindsay taking inside grip. Once again, inside has a slight disadvantage with less leverage. Making sure the stick stays centered above the board. You will not blow the whistle until it's purely in the middle, so it's a fair start for both sides. Looks like it's a solid pull, solid match. She's working on her angles. Lindsay's holding strong, staying centered, keeping the foundation. Looks like Taraya's trying that same spin out technique, but Lindsay's successfully countering. Lindsay's working on her pole, trying to get that angle. Taraya's forearms cutting against the board, her feet are spread. What will she do to counter? Lindsay's working down the center, trying to find an angle that Taraya's not going to be strong in. But Taraya's holding solid. Looks like she's going for endurance. Taraya's trying for grip. It's going back over to blue side. Lindsay needs to get it back to hers, and the grip fails out. Taraya takes a second win. Round goes to Tarayolova from Russia. Pretty intense match, one of the longer we've seen today. Impressive strength from both of them. Next up, Robin Kulin from Canada against Olesa Goriva from Uzbekistan. Robin Kulin is also a newcomer to Mas, only just qualifying for this competition a few weeks ago. She, however, is no stranger to fitness as well. She actually had won the bodybuilding.com transformation challenge. She's competed in powerlifting before, so we're going to see if that strength can do well, because our Uzbekistan competitor on blue side has plenty of experience. Another competitor that competed in the national championships last year. She actually got second internationally in 2016. She's also won the 3-stage World Cup before in her weight category for women's. Once again, another setup. Red side a little bit less experience, but plenty of strength to show for it. Blue side's bringing a lot of technique to the board. Watch closely. Let's see what blue side does to see what she does to take the advantage. Starting with a hard angling. Stick is pulled up to 90. Robin's going for a big pull, and it's successful. You never know what's going to happen on the Mas stage. Sometimes a world champion can be bested by somebody with just an amazing pull. Getting some coaching from Tim Sahar, also from Canada, one of the competitors for the men. We're going to see what happens in this next match. Olesa knows the things that she needs to do to be able to beat someone who's stronger than her. She's gone against bigger competitors before. Taking outside grip for blue side, she'll get the slight grip advantage. Robin taking a hard grip as well, making sure to have a solid hold. Stick stays centered, and the snatch is started. Olesa with a big step out, spins Robin off balance, winning the round in less than a few seconds. It's a best 2 out of 3, so now we are going into the final bout. We'll toss the dice and determine who gets the grip choice. Robin's getting some coaching right now from Ode Haugen, the actual chairman of Mas-Wrestling USA. He was the man to actually introduce Mas to the States. Himself a strongman legend and vice grip gets randomized to determine who gets that advantage. Robin won her first round when she had outside grip. Let's see if that's going to play into this one. A centered start, Elisa with a big step, takes her off balance, and it's good. Says a lot of what technique can do in this sport. Alicia Goriga from Uzbekistan with the win. One to be proud of for sure. All right, we are going to be moving into our second rounds for our men from Group A. Our first matchup will be Sergey Frolkin against Chaba Musev. Wrestling, you have a strong deadlift, or you're just a person with a lot of intensity, you're welcome to come try out Mas Wrestling tomorrow outside of the expo at the concourse stage, where we'll be inviting people to come up and give it a try. If you've got someone you need to settle a rivalry with, it's a great place to do it. Nothing says I'm stronger than you than ripping a stick out from somebody else's hands. All right, Sergey Frolkin and Chaba Huhas. Sergey had gotten third place last year in the 105K International Championship. Chaba is one of our 125K Hungary champions, and a quick win from Sergey. This is his second win in this back. Second time we've seen his power just completely dominate his opponent. I want to know what they're doing over at Russia. They produce some of the quickest and strongest Mas wrestling athletes. They've basically dominated the international scene for a long time. It'll be interesting to see if they can maintain that dominance in this absolute Mas Wrestling Championship. Going into another round, we're going to see what Chaba can do in response to that great pull from Sergey Frolkin. Another big pull, and it's gone. Two quick wins for Sergey Frolkin from Russia. A good victory. There he is. Next up, we're going to have Ulysse Payne of USA against Antoine Demetiev. This will be Ulysse Payne's first match of the day, and winning the first one by default. His opponent unfortunately couldn't make it today due to an injury. Ulysse Payne is one hell of an athlete, only 24 years old and probably heavier than anyone else in the audience right now. This guy has an insane pull. I've seen him compete before at Mas wrestling competitions, and almost like Sergey, who we just watched, this guy just rips the stick away from people with no problem. Ulysse Payne comes to us from Wisconsin. He's been recently getting into strongman athletics. He just competed and got 4th place at the LA Fit Expo in the Owen Haugen Strength Classic. Antoine will be taking the stage in less than a few moments. So this is an elimination style matchup. When you win your first match, you move on to go against another victor. Both of these guys won their previous matches, and we're going to find out who is the stronger of the two. Competitors take each other's side. You'll see them sniffing amino salts to get started, giving the ceremonial bow. Just like strongman or powerlifting, taking a quick whiff of amino salts helps get them in the zone. Mas wrestling is just like those intense lifting sports. You need 100% dedication, 100% of your strength to be able to take a round. with the size advantage. We're going to see what Antoine can do to be able to shorten that gap. A big start off, and Ulysse taking another big win. You are watching the Mas Wrestling Absolute Championship Worldwide 2017. This is absolute, meaning there are no weight categories. It doesn't matter what your size is. All that matters is what you can do on this stage. Best 2 out of 3. This is Antoine's last chance to take this win. I haven't seen the bracket myself, but I'm pretty sure if he loses this round, the best he'll be able to do in this contest will be a 3rd place. He's got to win this if he has any hope for getting gold in this competition. Ulysse Payne putting a lot of focus into his grip. Antoine matching that focus. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have a strong hold on that stick. Get called by the ref to get those heels to the floor. Big pull, and Ulysse takes the stick again. Representing the USA and Wisconsin, Ulysse Payne III. Our victor, red side, Ulysse Payne. Next up on the stage, we'll have Sviat Kajaya from Georgia against Adam Darash from Hungary. Sviat had a really easy round in his first matchup. The dude's got a lot of strength and a lot of size that he brings to the table. He's actually last year's World Championship, dethroning the previous World Champion, Viktor Golovchuk. Victor's actually competing in this contest today as well, so we're going to see one hell of a rivalry between these two giant of men. On blue side, we have Adam Darash. Darash has actually competed in strongman worldwide. 12 years ago, he was 10th place in the world, so you are actually watching some of the best right now on the globe compete. He won his previous matches really quickly as well, so we're going to see a battle of the giants right now, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the strongest poles in this entire building are going head-to-head on the stage. Taking outside grip. Shot's going to want that grip advantage. Inside taken by blue side. Looks like there's some injury concerns from blue side. We're going to see what the ref does to call it. Win by default due to injury. It goes to Svad from Georgia. Giving a quick bow to the audience and judges, as is tradition of Mas Wrestling. That happens. From all of my experience, something like Mas Wrestling is intense on those hamstrings and back. If you're watching, this is basically a terrible form for a deadlift. You've got rounded back, straight legs, all of it happening on the stage. However, it's actually a necessity in order to compete for Mas. You want to try to collapse your body and make it as flat as possible due to the leverage of the situation. If you try to do a conventional deadlift with an arched back, slight bend in the knees, hips in like about a 30-degree angle, you're going to get pulled over and on some hamstrings. Taking the stage, we've got Viktor Golovchuk, previous champion. This guy has been on the Mas stage for decades and has never lost a round as of 2 years ago, this last year. On Roman Kalinin on the other side. Both of these competitors are coming to us from Russia, where this sport originated. Russia is still known to produce some of the best Mas wrestling athletes with generations of ancestry in it. These guys are both going to bring everything to the table. They're going to bring intensity, they're going to bring technique, they're going to bring strength. However, Viktor has a bit more accolades behind him and also a greater size advantage. We saw Roman in his prior matchup have an intense pull, ripping it from his competitor's hands in literally microseconds. We're going to see if that pull is going to do much against Viktor today. Viktor taking outside grip. You can see that Victor. It's kind of a signature of Victor to be able to lift his opponent's butt off the ground. Like I was saying with leverage and keeping your body flat, if you can get your opponent's hips to start to levitate like that, their strength quickly diminishes. With every single inch that their hips are coming higher up, you get an easier and easier pull. Victor is a master at being able to get his opponents to lift their hips and then taking advantage of that window and ripping them over to his side. Looks like Roman's bringing some intensity. Let's see what he does to be able to counter Victor's experience and strength. Roman with the outside grip. Getting that stick centered. Big pull, and once again, Victor with another quick win. From Russia, ladies and gentlemen, Victor Golovachuk, a legend of Mas-wrestling. Next up on the stage, we're going to have Jacob Finnerty.
From Hungary. All right, next matchup, we've got Ben Rudy and Tomas Cheeto. This is going to be a USA against Slovakia matchup. Ben Rudy's been called the Giant Slayer before. His extra length helps him get some leverage to help him survive against these larger opponents. Once again, this is an absolute championship. This is the worldwide Mas Wrestling Absolute Championship, meaning that there is no weight categories. It doesn't matter what your size is. You come on the stage and you compete against whoever. Ben with a slight weight disadvantage right now. We're going to see if that giant slaying technique is going to come advantage against Tomas. All right, starting with a hard lean to his right side. Ben showing some technique. He's surviving a good while. Looks like he's going to be trying to tire him out. And a quick win! There's that giant slaying technique coming in handy. Ben's working again at a disadvantage of weight, but he's able to use his height against the other opponent, tiring them out and being able to shift them off balance using their pole against them. Tomas now knows that he can't take Ben's strength lightly. We're going to see what he does to take that match back. Outside grip advantage is now going to blue side. Let's see if Ben's going to try the same technique. Taking a hard lean to the left side, Rest getting the stick centered, and a big start off. Ben's waiting him out, step out from Tomas, trying to get angling, and pulls him over. As you can see, it's not all strength in Mas Wrestling. You want to try to make sure to get a superior angle on your opponent. If you can get outside of them somewhere they don't feel comfortable, you'll pull them over with no problem. The dice is thrown and grip choice goes to blue side. This is a best 2 out of 3. So if you win your first match and lose your second, the third one is then randomized to determine who gets choice of grip. This is winner takes all. Whoever wins this match wins this overall. Then starting with another hard lean, a big start off, Tim's going for it, and a big pull takes him over. Tomas Cheeto from Slovakia takes the win against the Prince of Oklahoma, Ben Rudy. Next up, we have James Loach representing Canada against Michael Stuzas from USA. At Kyrgyzstan last year. If you're wanting to learn the sport and give it a shot yourself, we're going to be actually hosting an open stage tomorrow at the concourse stage outside. Due to injury, James Loach will be giving the win over to Michael Stuzas from USA. Once you get on the stage and try Mas Wrestling yourself, you'll get to see how much tension your body is actually put under. There's no wonder why these athletes are getting some pulled hamstrings, because this sport puts you under some force that you have never actually had to deal with before. Our final matchup for Group B will be Karen Matruzian against Dominik Huhas from Hungary. Karen's actually our smallest competitor today in the Absolute Championship. A lot of bravery and a lot of heart from him to be able to come up here and see if he can hold his own against the big boys. He had a quick loss in his first matchup. We're going to see if he can make up for it with this next one. Dominik Huhas had actually gotten 3rd place in the world in the under 125 kilogram last year at the Nationals. He is the 1st place competitor from Hungary. And he's actually the son of Csaba Huhas, one of the other competitors earlier today. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree in Mas Wrestling. Wait for Karen Matruzian from Armenia to come take the stage. Once again, this is the Absolute Mas Wrestling Championship worldwide at the Arnold Sports Festival. Mas Wrestling, if you're new to the sport, is actually, the Mas word is stick in Yakutian language. So basically, roughly translated, this simply goes for stick wrestling. Karen's finally taking the stage. Once again, we have a David versus Goliath matchup. We're going to see what he does to take out this bigger boy. Giving the grip advantage to blue side, he's going to take inside grip. Karen's taking a hard lean, going for a shoulder drop, and he's pulled over quickly. Dominic's power is definitely a force to be reckoned with, as Karen just learned. Outside grip now. Going to blue side. Let's see what Karen's going to do. Going in again for that shoulder lean, trying to get an angle against his opponent. It's a good technique to use against a guy with more power and a quick win. Karen goes flying. Dominic Huhaus from Hungary taking the win for blue side. He is now going to be moving on to the next bracket. Thank you to both of our competitors. We are now going to be moving on to our women, their second round. Our first matchup will be Lindsay Hall from USA against Robin Coolin from Canada. Now, if you're watching this and you're wondering if there's any hope for a smaller guy to beat a bigger guy, I can tell you, you can. It just takes a lot of technique. That shoulder lean is a great way to get an advantage. What it does is it shifts your body weight so you actually drop it to the floor a lot quicker. Getting your body closer to the ground is a good way to help outlast your opponent and hopefully find a weakness in their strength. Now, Robin Coolin and Lindsay are both newer athletes to Mas Wrestling, but they've shown us that they have some pretty intense strength. Let's see who's going to be able to take this bout. All right, a big pull from both competitors. It's looking like Lindsay's going for the angling, and her butt comes up. Stick is pulled from her hand. Round goes to Lindsay Hall. Wrestling is a very unique wrestling sport since back strength and leg strength is one of the hugest assets you can have. A lot of competitors that get started in Mas Wrestling have never done a single day of wrestling, but they can do powerlifting, deadlifting, squats, all of that, and it can actually take you a very far distance in Mas Wrestling just to be able to have an intense pulling strength. Robin's now getting the outside grip. It's looking like she's going to have to work a little bit more angling and agility to get Lindsay off balance. Let's see what she can do in this final match. Working to get that stick centered. Lindsay's getting the pull. Some slight levitating happening on blue side. Lindsay's trying to find a side that Robin doesn't prefer. Robin's doing a drop, feet coming up, and the grip gives out. Round goes to Lindsay Hall, representing the USA. Lindsay Hall, everybody. Next up, we have Turayolova and Olesia Goriva from Uzbekistan. This should be a really good matchup. Both of these athletes are very experienced. They both competed last year in the international championships hosted in Kyrgyzstan during the Nomad Games. Both of these competitors know what to do to take their opponent out. I guarantee you, this is going to be their hardest match for the entire contest. This should be really interesting to see. The biggest match we're going to get to see from our ladies today in the entire Absolute Mas Wrestling Championship. Let's get some noise for these girls real quick. Let's let them know our love. Let's go, ladies! All right, red side. Turaya from Russia has preferred to take the inside grip, allowing blue side to have a slight advantage at the start. She's wrenching with her left head, trying to work that angling. A good technique from Russia, trying to make sure that that underhand is being ripped open the entire time. This is the match before the match, everybody. Oh, quick pull, and they're off. Uzbekistan's now going for a hard angling, getting those hips up, and it's a quick win for blue side. Impressive display from Uzbekistan. Russia tends to have a bit of a stranglehold on this sport. They have a lot of ancestry, knowing all the techniques. The international community is basically just working to defeat Russia, and Uzbekistan's right now actually looking to do that. You can see that Uzbekistan blue side was working hard, stepping to her left, trying to get Russia off balance, and it worked. Her knees buckled and her hips came close to the board. Once her hips became close, it was an easy pull, and she was pulled over to the other side.
Second round, there's going to be a switch of grip. Joyara from Russia is now getting the outside, getting some coaching from her coach. Here we go, getting some advice from her corner. We're going to see what she does to try to take this round. Uzbekistan, Olesia is looking calm and collected. Big step over the right side from Olesia. She's looking like she's getting the big pull. Russia's been able to take it back, and it's a quick win. Olesia from Uzbekistan. You can see she's very proud of that win. That is an impressive feat. Good sportsmanship from both sides. We love to see that at our Mas competitions. We're going to be moving on to our third round, Group A for the men. Our opening bout will be Jacob Finnerty against Sergey Frolkin. I'm expecting a lot from these two. Sergey has shown a complete dominance in his pull. Every single round so far that he has gone, basically. USA was just introduced to the sport less than 4 years ago, but we've actually been able to go over to the international championships and take home a lot of medal. Our boy on red side right now, Jacob Finnerty, has actually placed second in the heavyweight category, under 125 kilos. Sergey had gotten third place last time in the 105 kilogram class. This should be a really good matchup to open up our third batch of rounds. Starting with the traditional bow, they're going to be lining up. We're seeing the eye of the tiger from Jacob Finnerty. Sergey's loose and calm. Jacob Finnerty's known for his intensity. He's taking outside grip. Sergey with a nice wide stance. It looks like he's going to be relying on his strength during this round. Match before the match, Jacob's working to get a proper hold on that stick. Grip is your first and last defense in Mas. Big pull, and Sergey takes a quick round. Looks like he was able to take Jacob a little bit off guard there. Jacob's going to need to straighten out his legs and start with a heavy pull so that way he can hold his own against Sergey. His best bet is going to be able to mute that beginning pull. If he can prevent Sergey from winning the round quickly, I'm sure he'll be able to outlast him and then beat him on agility. Let's get some noise from our audience. We need to let these boys know we love what they're doing. Let's get a hand going for Sergey and Jacob Finnerty. Match before the match, fighting to get a proper hold on the stick. Big line up. Big start. Oh, and Sergey takes the round. Sergey Frolkin from Russia, everyone. Woo. It's amazing to see how much strength is involved in Mas wrestling. Next up, our next matchup will be Ulysse Payne III against Javad Pajaya from Georgia. There's going to be a USA against Georgia matchup, another clash of titans. These are
two of the biggest, heaviest boys in this entire room. Georgia is actually the current international champion. He dethroned Viktor Goloubchuk in the last international championship. They'll be going again against each other later in this contest. So if you want to see some of the best Mas wrestling ever in the whole world with the biggest guys in the entire sport, make sure to stick around. But in order to go to that final matchup, Shvad from Georgia is going to have to defeat Ulysse Payne III. Ulysse on blue side, representing USA, is only 24 years old. But what he doesn't have in age, he has in heart. I'm expecting to see a huge pull from him. We're going to see if it'll counter the giant from Georgia. Looks like a big pull. He's got the slight advantage. Ulysse is holding strong. Georgia's looking like he's trying to inch over to his right side. Oh, and a cutback shifts him off balance, and that's down. Now, it probably looks like there isn't much movement on the stage, but I can guarantee you that's because you're watching 2,000-pound poles meet. It's like when an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object. What happens? So these two competitors, I can guarantee that stick in between their hands has literal, basically a ton of force coursing through it. These are huge guys that are able to lift giant weights from the ground, and they're trying now to lift a giant competitor over the board. That is the nature of Mas wrestling. Victor with Ulysse Payne with the big pull to begin with. Georgia looks like he's being able to counter it. Once again, trying to take him to one side. Ulysse is countering, able to hold. Georgia's sawing him down, and it's out of the grip. Shvad takes the round. Shvad Kijaya from Georgia takes the match. He'll be moving on to the next matchup against Viktor Goloubchuk, a great rivalry. Next up, we'll be moving on to our Group B of men. Our next competitors will be Chaba Hues and Antoine Demetiev. A Hungary versus Russia matchup. Wrestling so far. Do you guys think it's pretty cool, huh? I actually compete in Mas wrestling myself. Was at the international competition last year. I was able to take home a silver medal for US, and it's only been about 4 years now that the US has been able to represent the sport. It's been exciting watching it grow, and it's an utter honor to be here at the Arnold Sports Festival representing the Absolute World Championship. Like on red side, we've got Chaba from Hungary. He's hungry and ready to go. Now I mentioned Team USA and the growing sport. The reason I say that is because we are always looking for more athletes. Jacob Finnerty, who had just competed and represented USA, was actually found at a Fit Expo. He was in the audience, he came up and tried it out, and the next thing you know, he was representing us in the international championships and took home a silver medal. If you yourself want to try out Mas wrestling tomorrow, we're going to be opening a stage to the competitors to teach you how to Mas at the concourse stage just outside the expo. All right, our first matchup for Group B. Chaba Hues against Antoine Demetiev. Hungary against Russia. Hungary's going to be on red, Russia in the blue. Outside grip advantage is going to the red side. Inside going to blue. It's looking like they're starting with a lot of tension to begin before the match has begun. Big step, and Antoine takes the round. Mas wrestling is a sport of milliseconds. It's all about just trying to find that angle and finding a position that your opponent will not be able to tolerate. taking a quick win. Moss wrestling can be kind of like a rock, paper, scissors match, where you're trying to make sure to get something right off the start that'll throw your opponent off balance. Once again, intensity coming from Chaba. A big win, Antoine with a pull over to his side. Antoine Demetiev from Russia wins blue side. Next up on the stage, we're going to have Roman Kalinin from Russia against Tibor Kish from Hungary. Another Russia-Hungary matchup. It's amazing to see Moss wrestling because it's such a brutal and honest sport. Sometimes it purely comes down to whether or not you're stronger than the other guy. This is unlike any other test of leg, back, and grip strength. There's a lot of athletics happening in this room today, I guarantee you that, but nothing is like Moss wrestling. And I don't say that lightly. Every time somebody tries out Moss wrestling for the first time, they walk away from that stage out of breath and really sore. It works your body in a new way that you've never tried before. I guarantee you, it may look easy right now, but we've got some of the world's best competing. There is so much that's happening at any second on the stage. Roman Kalinin from Russia is wearing the red shorts. He's been showing us an incredible pull in all of his matches. He went up against Victor Golubchuk in his last one. That's the only reason now he's into the next bracket, because Victor's the champion. He's going up against Tibor Kish from Hungary. Another guy with an explosive pull. I'm imagining a lightning quick round from these guys. This is basically going to be determined on who is stronger. Opting out of the grip advantage, red side's taking inside grip. Rest fighting to make sure that stick starts centered. A lot of intensity coming from Roman. Big pull, hips are elevating on blue side. Looks like he's working the angles, and Roman takes the round. Description of Moss wrestling is it's like a deadlift if the deadlift didn't like you. And it's so appropriate because when you're mossing, you basically are trying to do a max lift, your heaviest deadlift possible, but at the same time, the other competitor is shifting side to side, twisting the grip out of your hand, trying to find a way that you make sure you lose the round. That was a good display of that from Roman. He was expecting a strong pull from Tibor and was able to work side to side until he found an angle where Tibor wasn't comfortable and he gave a hard pull, winning the match. To a third bout to determine the overall winner. It's looking like we're having some pull concerns from blue side with Antoine. Roman's looking ready. outside or inside grip. Now it'll be determined by random chance with the dice that will be thrown. Advantage goes to blue side. He will now get to choose outside or inside hold on the stick. It tends to be an advantage to take the outside hold because you have a little bit more leverage on that 18-inch dowel rod. Tibor's opting for that outside grip like I mentioned. Roman's taking inside. Roman starting with his signature intensity. Stick center. Big pull. Oh, and it's let go. Tibor Keisha, the big win. Representing Hungary takes the match. Respect, and we'll be moving on to our third matchup for Group B. We've got Tomáš Šído and Michael Stuzas, a Slovakia against USA matchup. Slovakia will be on red side. Michael Stuzas, representing the Stars and Stripes USA, will be on blue. All right, we've been seeing a lot of strength from both of these competitors. Michael Stuzas with a strongman background. Tomáš Šído is the absolute Slovakia Mas champion. Stick is centered, grip advantage. Oh, good. Side advantage goes a quick win for Michael Stuzas. Himself in the running to take home some medal. Same story for Michael. Switch of grip. Michael's taking outside for blue side. Tomáš taking inside on the red. Stick is centered, slight angling on the stick, big heavy pull. Michael's doing his signature just long pull. Tomáš loses grip. Michael takes the round. Michael Stuzas, USA, takes the match. He'll be moving on to the next round. Moving on to our ladies, we'll be opening up with Lindsay Hall of USA and Olesya Griva from Uzbekistan. Now we only have 4 girls actually being represented in the female category for this Absolute Championship. So they're doing a round-robin competition, meaning every competitor will face against every other competitor. Uzbekistan had a really impressive win against Russia in her last matchup, and Lindsay Hall has been showing us that she has some pretty impressive strength. Lindsay Hall a little bit newer to the sport, whereas Olesya on blue side brings a lot of experience. Looks like Lindsay maintains her win. A warning was given not to rotate the stick past 90 degrees. She's given a foul. So the rules work that if you cannot rotate the stick past 90 degrees, it's a way to make sure that there isn't an over-rotation between the shoulders and it's fair between competitors. Lindsay maintains her win, but she is given a foul. If she continues to use that technique, it will work against her. Taking outside grip now. Red side's going to see what she can do to take the match. Uzbekistan was trying almost every tool she can to try to get Lindsay off balance. We're going to see what she does this time. Cutting to the left and cutting to the right. She's trying to saw Lindsay down. Lindsay's maintaining her foundation though. Alessia is double dedicating to her right side. And it looks like Lindsay's trying to shift her back to her center. Alessia is still double dedicating, holding down strong, trying to get that grip. Still working on angling. Lindsay's holding strong with her feet spread. While still under tension, they're working the matchup. Alessia cuts back to her left and is spun out again by Lindsay. Looks like the refs are still discussing for another rotation of over 90 degrees. I just got some clarification from the refs. The first matchup that we saw was actually canceled. So Lindsay's first win was negated. That was a redo for the first matchup. And Alessia is going to take the round. Lindsay, a little bit newer to the sport, is getting a run through about rotating the stick 90 degrees. So the round count goes, one for blue side, Alessia representing Uzbekistan, and this will be the second round to determine Lindsay going into the third. Lindsay needs to win this one to be able to take it into a third bout. Alessia is going to try to end it quickly to make sure that she's solidified with her win. Center grip's now going to Lindsay. Stick is getting centered. Another cut to one side by Alessia. Lindsay's relying on her pole. She's getting her centered. Now she's going for the shoulder drop from Lindsay. She's now going for the outside attack against Alessia. Alessia gets the advantage. The stick's now back towards her side, stepping to the right and double dedicating. Lindsay's countering. Holding strong. The advantage is still over to Alessia, and the stick is pulled from her hands. That's 2 wins for blue side. Alessia representing Uzbekistan. A good matchup between those two competitors. You can see how much goes into just trying to find an angle that your competitor doesn't feel comfortable with. Robin Coolin from Canada. All right, Tiara from Russia representing on the red side, Robin Cooling representing Canada on the blue. Robin had a good matchup against Lindsay in her last one where she was able to take a single bout. However, she's still fighting to get her first overall victory. Robin being outside grip gets to choose how she wants to set up her switch, whether or not Now her right hand will be an over or under, and the opposite hand opposing. Russia does an opposing grip, taking inside. Big heavy pull. Looks like it's a matchup that's pretty evenly squared. Tura's setting up, waiting for that step up. Robin steps to her right, recenters. Angling the stick, Robin's going for some grip advantage. Tura looks like she's working to wear down her opponent. Tura stays centered, keeping a strong foundation. Looks like she's beginning her pull and stepping with a hard shoulder lean to her right side. Robin's trying to counter, keeping her legs straight. And a hard shift from Tura, shifting Robin off balance. Match goes to Tura from Russia. This is where experience and technique comes into play with Mas wrestling. Tuyara knew exactly what she was doing that entire round, staying centered, matching the opponent's pull for as long as she could, trying to wear down Robin. She knows Robin has a very strong deadlift and she didn't want that explosive strength to take her off guard. She then shifted to the right, trying to get Robin to put most of her weight into her left foot, and then cut again to the other side, throwing Robin off balance. Robin now has an idea of the strategy that Tura is using. We're going to see what she's going to do in response. She's getting some coaching from Tim Sahar, another competitor representing Canada. Robin now takes inside grip. The grip switches now once we go into the second bout. Tura takes the outside. We're going to see what she does to try to counter Robin's heavy pull. Will we see another display of endurance? Or is she going to try to go for a faster attack this time? You can see an intense match before the match, making sure they have a solid grip. Tura is going for the quick attack, going for a shoulder lean to the right. She's shifting Robin off balance, and it's successful. Takes the stick from her side, collapses Robin against the board. Let's get a big hand for our ladies, everybody. These girls are working hard for you. That is Turara Olova from Russia, taking another win. Once again, you are watching the Absolute Mas Wrestling World Championship. This is for the world. We are honored at the Arnold Sports Festival to host this competition. We are talking about a sport with generations of history being represented right here in Columbus, Ohio. Our next matchup will be Victor. So on the stage, we'll be having Group B. Or Group A. Group A, Viktor Golovchuk against Sergey Frolkin. So, these are our current winners. We'll be getting Viktor Golovchuk to the stage against Sergey Frolkin. These are two competitors from Russia. Both of these guys have not been defeated yet in the contest. They are working hard to try to get up to that first or second place category. Following this, we'll be moving on to Group B with Dominic Huhes and Antoine Demetiev. This is the semi-final match. Sergey Frolkin from Russia has showed us how impressive his pull can be. Almost every match he's won today has been won in less than a second. He has showed us an incredible pulling strength, and we're going to see what that can do against Viktor Golovchuk. On red side, Viktor is a legend of Mas wrestling. Prior to last year, he had been undefeated for a decade, literally not losing a single matchup. However, his record was broken by Martins Lisis, one of the strongman competitors you'll see on the pro strongman stage. So basically, it took one of the 10th strongest people in the world to dethrone Victor. Victor is now hungry to take back his title in this Absolute Championship, and Sergey is one of the competitors in the way. The referee calls a lore, the Yakutian word for sit. It's looking like we're getting a stare down from both competitors. Russia is by far one of the most gifted countries in Mas wrestling, having all the tricks and techniques that it's taken generations to develop. Both of these guys know all the ins and outs of this sport. We're gonna see what they're gonna do to try to outdo the other competitor. If you've been whipping out your phone to film anything, this is one of those times. Before the match, Sergey's fighting to get a strong handhold. Victor's starting with a grip advantage at the outside of the stick. Sergey's opening up with a big pull at the stoika. He's got the advantage onto his side, but it looks like Victor's able to make up for it. Stepping to the outside, Sergey, oh, and the stick is pulled from his hand. Impressive from Victor being able to undo that intense pull. Up to this point, Sergey has won every single one of his matches in less than a second. Victor was able to mute that pull and then being able to counter. Keep your eyes peeled on the positioning of the stick in relation to the board. The way this sport works is it's a zero-sum game. When that stick is pulled an inch over to blue side, that's a 2-inch disadvantage for red side. And that continues on and on. The fact that Sergey pulled the stick over to his side almost 6-4 inches, and Victor was not even able to counter that, but then return strength, bring it back to his side, was massively impressive. We then saw Sergey try to step outside, shifting Victor off balance, but unfortunately he was able to counter that. The shift of balance wasn't enough to throw Victor off, and Victor was able to rip the stick from his hand once he did a shoulder drop. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching some of the world's best Mas wrestlers. Let's give him some noise. Help me think, guys. Sergey against Victor. This is a best 2 out of 3 matchup. Sergey's going to have to win this round if he has any hope at a first place title. If Victor's going to continue on, all he has to do is take it again for this match. Sergey now gets the outside grip, giving himself a slight advantage. Victor's working hard on his setup, taking inside grip. You can see it's almost like a meditation for these athletes. They know how much they need to do to prep before a match. Big pulls coming from both sides. Sergey starting with that heavy pull, but Victor's countering, elevating his hips, going for a stoika. Sergey steps to the left, and he shoots him off balance, giving Victor off, knocking his shoulder into the pauldron of the board. A massive take back for Sergey. That is hugely impressive. We are now moving into a third matchup between these two. The dice is thrown to determine who gets grip preference, and it goes for blue side. This is an absolutely epic matchup. The fact that Sergey was able to take it back and make this go into a third round against Victor, of all people, who is a legend of Mas wrestling, is massively impressive. Both of these competitors are actually coming from Russia, so we could be seeing the birth of the new Russian champion. see what these two competitors are going to do to try to best each other. Sergey, interestingly enough, knowing that his pole was going to be stopped, knew to try to shift him outside and was able to do it. Getting the call from the ref to come center. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching a clash of titans. Let's let him hear it, everybody. This is incredible. Two of Russia's best. Sergey Frolkin on blue, Viktor Goloubchuk on red. Sergey is taking the choice of inside grip. An interesting choice considering he's giving Viktor the advantage. Seeing an intense pull from Sergey, and it's off. Sergey's going to get for the step. They're moving over to one side of the board. Sergey's going down the center, trying for a Stoika move. Viktor is able to counter and return Stoikas. He's going for angling, trying to get Sergey to let go of his grip, and we have a stalemate. Now trying for angling, Sergey stepping to one side. Viktor's once again trying to wait him out, trying to undo his endurance. We're seeing a big matchup of pole. Oh, Viktor's going for that begin. These competitors have an amazing matchup of strength. I guarantee you that stick is under thousands of pounds of tension right now. Both of these competitors, oh, and he rips it from his hand. Viktor Goloubchuk takes the win. Looks like the young and the restless wasn't able to undo experience today. Viktor Goloubchuk from Russia. An absolutely epic matchup with a bow of respect from our competitors. That means Viktor will be moving on for the first place matchup where he'll be going against Yad Kajaya from Georgia. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you liked what you just saw, you're going to have to see that matchup. That will be for first place. And those two competitors, Shavad and Viktor, are the previous world champions. Viktor, being undefeated for years, only just lost his title of international champion due to Shavad. Shvad's actually not needed on the stage right now, so if we can pull him down, Chad Clark. Alright, we're going to have Dominic Hues and Antoine Demetiev onto the stage. Our Hungary against Russia matchup. So this is our Group B in this Absolute Mas-Wrestling Championship. These are some competitors that early in the bracket system unfortunately had a loss. So now they are pitting against each other to see if they can work for a bronze placement. This is their last chance to be able to take home some metal. We've got competitors from literally all over the world. We're talking like 24-hour travel times in order to get here in Columbus, Ohio, and compete in front of you guys today. Let's get some noise for our big boys on the stage, Dominic and Antoine! Red side, Dominic Hues from Hungary is taking outside grip. Antoine, taking inside grip on the blue side, is representing Russia. Both of these competitors have had very explosive matches. Big pull from them. Looks like there's some disagreement from red side. The ref gives the win to Antoine from Russia. This is your first time seeing Mas Wrestling, I cannot tell you enough how much strength plays into this sport. It's a unique wrestling sport since it really prioritizes whoever has a stronger pull. I've seen a lot of competitors who have no wrestling background whatsoever go very far in this sport just because they have a heavy deadlift. I guarantee you, you're watching two incredible pullers right now. These guys can probably lift hundreds of pounds off the ground, and now they're trying to throw each other over a board. Antoine took a quick win last time. We're going to see if Dominic can take it back. He's clearly got the desire. We've got the rage in his eyes. He wants to get that stick over to his side. Big pull. He's going for the step up. He gets his heel high, but Antoine takes it down the center. Antoine Demetiev, everybody. Representing Russia, blue side, Antoine Demetiev. Next up, we're gonna have a USA versus USA matchup. Jacob Finnerty on red side against Ulysse Payne III on blue. Jacob Finnerty is gonna have a slight advantage with experience. He's been doing Mas wrestling for a couple years now and has actually represented Team USA at the International Championships with weight categories at Kyrgyzstan. He was able to get a silver medal representing the 125 kilo class. However, a force to be reckoned with on blue side, we have Ulysse Payne III. Ulysse is a huge man and strongman competitor. He has shown us how incredible his pull can be. He's been throwing guys over the board all day long. Jacob's best hope for this match is to try to mute his pull by either dropping his shoulder to the ground or elongating his body, making sure his leverage is as heavy as possible. Allure is called by the ref, meaning sit in Russian. The competitors are down on the board. Red side, Jacob Finnerty is taking outside grip. Ulysse taking inside for blue. What you're watching right now is called the match before the match. Making sure that you have a solid hold on the stick is one of the most important elements of a match. Ulysse with a big hole has stick advantage, hips go up, and Victor is over onto his side. Jacob Finnerty attempting a fail-out technique where he basically tries to flatten out his body as much as possible, completely straightening his legs and letting his back completely relax. What it does is it makes his body as long as possible, trying to buy him some time. It's supposed to mute Ulysse's pull so that way he can't pull him over to the other side. Unfortunately, Ulysse's strength was able to best it and he brought Jacob up and over. Jacob's probably going to try to do a stepping technique, try to get Ulysse off balance. He's going to rely on agility most likely to take this next round. Let's see what happens. Strong inside pull, we get a slight lead from Jacob. He counters and Ulysse takes the win. Two of our USA athletes, everybody. Ulysse Payne III takes the win. Next up on our stage, our third round and last one of Group B, we've got Tibor Kish against Michael Stuzas, a Hungary versus Russia or USA mashup. Now, if you're liking what you're seeing, this is called Mas wrestling. Stick is Mas in the Yakutian language, which is the origins of this sport. If you're interested in getting started in this, we'll be actually hosting an open stage tomorrow outside on the concourse stage. There you'll be able to step up on a board and try it out for yourself. Now, I've hosted quite a few Mas wrestling competitions, and every single time somebody gets on the stage and tries it out, they are amazed at the level of tension their body is under. This sport is one of the most taxing and tiring efforts you can do. If you want to try it out and think you can best some of these guys, tomorrow is the day to do it. All right, representing Hungary on blue side, we've got Tibor Kish on red side, that's Tibor Kish. Blue side is Michael Stuzas from USA. All right, we're getting a strong pull. Michael's doing a little bit of a shoulder drop. Looks like Tibor is leaning to his left side. Oh, and Michael with the strong, steady pull. We've been seeing a lot of that from Michael today. He's not so much explosive as he is consistent. He just leans back and draws that stick over to his side until the competitor is so uncomfortable, the other side just lets go. We're going to see if Tibor Kish is going to be able to counter that. He's been relying on his very explosive pull this whole contest. This is one of the first competitors that's been able to mute that pull and then not be able to get it quickly. We also just got news, we're gonna have a little bit extra time with the stage today, so if there is anybody in the audience who's actually interested in trying this today, we'll be opening up the platform to let people try it out. That's right, after these matchups, we're gonna let people come up and try. If you've got a friend you need to settle a rivalry with, I guarantee you, Moss Wrestling is the way to do it. All right, T-Boys. Last chance to take it back. Looks like Michael's doing a shoulder drop. T-Boy's hips are up and it's out of his hands. Michael Stuzas proud of his win. Representing the USA, Michael Stuzas. Good sportsmanship from both sides. Moss Wrestling helps bring these countries together. We have 20 athletes representing 8 different countries today at the Absolute Moss Wrestling World Championship. We're going to give it a couple moments and then we're going to be inviting people to come try out Moss Wrestling for themselves. On the blue side, we have Romark Weiss from the training hall, also part of Team USA. Right now you see them kind of doing a customary warm-up, which is just to help their posterior chain get a little bit ready for the tension. Now if you've ever done a heavy deadlift before, if you've ever lifted 500 pounds off the ground, you know how much tension your body is under. Moss Wrestling is just like that. Seeing a full match from these guys so I can call out their techniques. Looks like Romark's going to the outside. You can see them both getting their feet together and shifting from side to side. Romark trying to get an outside angle on it. Once again, if you're wanting to try out Moss Wrestling yourself, you're welcome to come up here and give it a shot. All you gotta do is sign in and just get your name down. The man to talk to is right over there in the white t-shirt with Moss Wrestling USA on it. He's handing around a clipboard. You only probably have another 15-20 minutes of the stage, so if you're wanting to, welcome to just grab a buddy. Go talk to Chad over there in the Moss Wrestling shirt, and he'll get you up here. If by some unfortunate luck you aren't able to get up today, we will also be hosting a class/volunteer open stage tomorrow on the concourse stage just outside of the expo. Getting a quick run through the rules from the ref. The way you win Moss is primarily through one of 3 ways. You either pull your competitor over to your side, you rip the stick from their hands, or you actually step them off balance so they crumple into the board. So a lot goes into it. Grip strength, back strength, agility, strategy. It's a deceptively simple sport where it just looks like you're trying to outpull the other guy. But the real competitors, the real guys that do well in this sport, know that there's a lot that can go into it. Trying to angle the stick so it slips out of their hand. Trying to step them off balance so they're outside of their strength zone. Trying to surprise them, juking to the left and then moving to the right, trying to make sure they're caught off guard. We're seeing a father against son matchup, and it's looking like it's pretty even as far as strength is concerned. We're getting some slight leaning from side to side. These are 2 newcomers to the sport trying it out for the first time. If you're wanting to give it a go, just talk to Chad over there. We're going to try to get in as many people as possible before we lose the stage. Looking like his feet is wide. Dad's butt's going in. He's going for the big pull. Follow through. That one will be a little bit more intensive. So if you actually want to learn the sport, we'll be glad to show you the tips and tricks needed to succeed in Moss Wrestling. Right now, our boys on the stage right now are getting some quick tips from the ref. He's explaining the grip on the stick. Now this is a standard dowel rod that's used for Moss Wrestling. It's roughly about 18 inches long. audience, a lot of people may have not seen Mas Wrestling before. What's happening right now is these two competitors are going to sit down on either side of that board. They're going to try to either pull the other guy over to their side, whip the stick from their hand, or walk them so they lose balance and crumble into the board. It's one of the most intense feats of back, leg, and grip strength that you're going to see at the expo or even in the world at all. We had a lot of preliminary matches earlier that led these athletes to this point. This is their last chance to get in for that third place. We are watching the preliminary matches for the bronze medal round. Sergey, with preference, has chosen to take an inside grip, giving Anton a slight advantage. Anton going for that false grip, getting lots of wrap. Big pull, Sergey, explosive win. That seems to be Sergey's signature. Almost every single one of his matches today has ended in less than a second. He's got an insanely strong big pull. It took Victor Golovchuk in order to move him down in the standings. So the way Mas Wrestling works is it's a best 2 out of 3 matchup. So in order for Anton to continue on to the next round, he's going to have to win this one and then win the next following. Sergey, this is his chance to just seal the deal on this and move on to the next match. Both of these representatives have come to us all the way from Russia. Big pull starting from both. Refs making sure the positioning is good, and they're off. Sergey, big explosive pull, takes it from his hands. An athlete to be reckoned with, Sergey Frotin, everybody! All right, we have a pretty fun matchup next. We've got 2 representatives coming to us from USA. Specifically, they're from Wisconsin. Now, we had this competition with over 20 athletes, and just by some sheer chance or skill, these 2 guys are actually training buddies. They drove down together 12 hours in a car from Wisconsin. I'm sure they're probably sick of each other already, so let's help them end this feud. Michael Stuzas in blue on blue side, and Ulysse Payne III in the red shorts. Whoever wins this match will go on to the next round to compete for that bronze medal. Ulysse is getting pumped up. Michael's been having a very strong pull, just a steady ascension, bringing his opponent back and ripping it from their hands. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that against the giant Ulysse. Strong setup. They're off. Ulysses' big pull. He has a slight advantage. Sticks on his side. He's sawing Michael back and forth. He's getting him up, and he's good. It's gone over.
Michael, come on!
Michael told me beforehand that Ulysse and him tend to go back and forth in competitions. They both had competed at the LA Fit Expo in Strongman, where Michael was able to get 1 point ahead of Ulysse and won his Strongman throw guard. If the trend continues, this should be Ulysses' contest, but I don't think Michael's ready to give it up that easy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give some noise for our boys from Wisconsin. What do you think? All right, Michael's set up. Ulysse hungry for more. The match is off. It's looking good. It's on Ulysses' side, but Michael's able to return. He's getting it over. He's got the advantage. Dropping. Oh, Ulysses up, and it's over. An impressive display. Ulysse Payne III on red side, everybody. a relatively new sport in the U.S. It was introduced a few years ago and it's been growing ever since. It's been amazing to see how many Moss wrestling competitions are starting to pop up all over the States. If you're interested in getting Moss wrestling in your gym, it's one of the best ideas you can do. There's no better test of leg, back, or grip strength. It's also a great way to settle rivalries if you got any of those. If you have any questions, you're welcome to either talk to our officials or any else wearing a Moss Wrestling t-shirt. Tomorrow we'll be hosting an educational where we'll be opening up the stage to audience to be able to come up and give the sport a try. It'll be 12 o'clock tomorrow at the Concourse stage. We're going to be having Ben Ruby there who's actually on the competition. Ben had actually competed today in the Absolute. So we're going to be getting the awards ceremony underway. We had a few less ladies competing, only 4 of them, so they went ahead and already had their finals match. We're going to be giving away our awards to them. They'll be receiving gifts from all of our sponsors, from Six Pack Fitness to Doc Fit. And Milo Magazine. Iron Mind. All right, let's go ahead and get all the ladies onto the stage, please. We're going to do national bronze. We don't have all the girls. The girls aren't here, so the girls aren't here. Hold off on the award ceremony for our girls. Unfortunately, she's still at the hotel, we're guessing, so we're going to be waiting until she's in attendance. Wouldn't be fair to have our finals when we don't have all of our finalists to take their awards. We're going to go ahead and be moving into the final match for the bronze. So what you just watched, those 2 matches, Sergey Antoine and then Ulysses against Michael, determined what was going to happen on this stage right now. This match will determine who's walking away with a bronze medal. We're going to have Sergey Frolkin on red side and Ulysses Payne III on blue. This will be a great rivalry matchup because this is Russia against the U.S. The U.S. has been glad to join Moss Wrestling, and we've been working hard to get ourselves up there in the standings. But Russia has really had a strong hold on the sport. They've got the technique and tricks that's been developed for generations, and we're still working to catch up with them. With a little help from our audience, who knows, Ulysses might be able to get us a victory. Ulysses is probably still feeling warm after his last matchup. He's going to be taking blue side, Sergey on the red. These guys are both big. We got a clash of titans on this stage. 2 outside. Luis is getting prepped. And they're off. Big pull from both. Sergey stepping to one side, trying to get Luis off balance, but Luis is able to counter, hips her up, and he's over. That's incredible to see. Almost this entire contest, Sergey has only been leaning back, just using his heavy deadlift strength to lift another competitor up and over the side. You can see that right off the bat. He knew that wasn't going to work on a big boy like Luis. So he started to step outside of it. He was working to get him off balance, and it was successful. Luis's knees started to bend. He started to lift his butt off the ground. The next thing you know, he's over. Luis is going to have to change strategy since Sergey's been a little bit more creative. Let's see what he can pull off for this next match. Best 2 out of 3. This is Luis's last chance to be able to get that bronze medal. It's all or nothing for this match. Luis will be taking inside grip since he started the match on the outside. All right, here we go again, everybody. Taking a strong grip from both sides. Big pull, looks like Sergey's going for the step again. Luis isn't able to counter. It works the second time. That's where that experience comes in handy. Sergey knew just what to do to take Luis off balance. Sergey Frolkin from Russia, everybody! So this contest is hosted by the International Mas-Wrestling Federation. They have a lot of respect for its members and for everyone else that helps contribute to the sport. This is probably new to a lot of people in the audience, but this is not new for them. There has been generations of tradition with this handed down over and over and over again. And as is custom, they like to present some awards to their organizers to let them know their honor. Previously, you got to see some of the best in the world getting ready for these finals. You might have got to see Victor Volchuk.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is. Vivi is ready to take the mic. Take it away, girl.
Good afternoon, dear guests and participants. The International Mas-Wrestling Federation would like to thank you all for participating, and also we want to present our gifts from International Federation of Mas-Wrestling to the President of United States of America Mas-Wrestling Federation on Hogan.
I know that guy.
from Russia going against the God Kajaya from Georgia. This is an epic matchup. I cannot tell you enough the scope of what's about to happen. Victor is the prior champion for like 10 years running. It was literally a decade before we even had a competitor that could beat him. That same competitor is actually competing over on the professional Arnold Strongman stage. So it took one of the 10 strongest guys in the world to defeat Victor and put a crack in his armor. Blue side right now, Scott actually took advantage of that, and in the last international contest was able to take the title from him. That was the first time in 10 years that Victor not only lost a round, but didn't go home with a gold medal. This is the most epic rivalry that I can emphasize in Mas Wrestling right now, and it is an honor for the Arnold Sports Festival to be able to host this. A lot's going into this match, and we're going to see who is going to take this. We've got the champion that's wanting to take back that gold, and the current reigning champ wanting to maintain his lead. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some noise for these giants on this stage! I cannot emphasize enough how much power we are looking at right now. If it goes quick, if it takes a long time, I cannot tell you enough how much tension is going to be communicated between these two athletes. There's so much. This could be quickly, or it could take minutes in order for them to determine a winner. It could go in any direction. We're getting a strong pull starting from Strad. Victor sawing back and forth, finding his angle. They're off. Victor with a big pull takes the advantage, but Strad counters. Victor's going to the outside, Strad follows. They're now moving to one side of the board, and Victor's trying to find the angle, spins out. Wait for a call from ref, tie, no winner. Unstoppable force, immovable object. We have an amazing matchup right now. These guys are almost tit for tat on strength, size, weight, and now we're seeing if technique and experience will win out. This is like a classic story of the great up-and-comer going against the previous champion. So what happened on that last one is they both spun out on the same time, meaning the ref wasn't able to determine which one spun out first, giving the rounds to neither. The round is still 0-0. It will be a best 2 out of 3 match. All right, the Giants square off again. What do you think, everybody? So we got to see that they were pretty equally matched in strength. One person wasn't able to outpull the other. It's coming down to who is faster, who can get the angle on the other one before the other guy is able to counter. All right, tension begins. Brass checking, making sure the positioning is good. And they're off. Victor with a big pull. Now going to the right side. He cuts back to the left. Strad counters, and they're both moving over. It's looking like we're ending up in the same spot again. Looking like we're hitting a stalemate. Both of the competitors are holding, trying to counter the other's tension. Victor might be going for an endurance, trying to wear out Strad. There we go, he's going for an attack on grip, enabling the stick out of his hand. He's sawing it back and forth, trying to find it, goes for the angle, almost takes it.
see in this matchup that these guys are having to work hard on endurance. In an international competition that was hosted last year in Kyrgyzstan, it came down to who wanted it more. Scrod was able to outlast Victor and take advantage of when he was in a moment of fatigue. We're basically seeing the same thing happening today. But we're going to see if Victor's able to take it back. I guarantee you he has the desire. Let's see if he can make it communicate. Seconds are up. Moving into our second bout between these two. Victor from Georgia representing on the blue side. Victor now has the outside grip. Nope. Scott is taking outside. For those new to the sport, the way it works is red side gets choice. He chooses in the beginning whether or not he takes an outside or inside grip, and for the second bout, it's switched. Strong pull from the start. Victor's going for a stoika, lifting his hips up, trying to get him up and over. Looks like Scott's able to anchor down now. Oh, and he pulls it from his hand. It's over, everybody. Scott from Georgia successfully counters the stoika and takes it from his hand. The up-and-comer, everybody, Scott Gajaya! Respect to the members and fans, that is a gold medal flying back home to Georgia. Once again, if you liked what you saw, you've got to come by tomorrow to see the open stage where we'll be allowing people from the audience to try out Mas-restling. Right now, we're going to get our ladies awards ceremony underway. So if we can get our girls ready, we're going to give you guys some medals. If you've never seen Mas-restling before, it's a sport that's growing in the States right now. We have Team USA, and we're always looking for more representation. A huge contest just took place. Very impressive from Scott. I've got Ben Rooney from Team USA with me. Ben, what did you think about that matchup?
That was highly impressive. I mean, those two are the greatest in the world, 125 plus. It was just one of the best matches I've ever seen.
So what do you think? Victor has held on to the title of world champion for like a decade already. Are we looking at a new world champion for another decade?
Well, let's see when Martins Lisi gets back into it.
That's true. It's unfortunate. We would have loved to have our boy Martins Lisi, who actually represents Team USA on the stage, but he has to compete right now against the strongman just over there. Take the stage. It is your time to take your awards. First, we would like to present the third place medal to Lindsay Hall, representing the US of A. The presenter will be Lena
there, she is part of the International Mas Wrestling Federation. She is the executive committee member, one of the people that's responsible for bringing Mas Wrestling to the international scene. Lindsay Hall had a good contest today. She's actually rather new to the Mas Wrestling sport, but her strength communicated, and she's able to take home a bronze medal. Next up, second place we have Diana Orlova from Russia. Presenting we have Ivan Malupsky. Ivan Malupsky is the chief referee for the Mas Wrestling World Absolute Championship. He's the one that was in charge of the day, making sure everybody, was fighting fair. DR has a long history with Mas Wrestling. This is going to join a vast collection of medals that she's won across the years. She actually comes to us from Yakutsk, Russia, the origins of the sport. All right, and our first place gold medalist, we have Olesia Gariba from Uzbekistan. Olesia did very well today. A little bit of an upset. Uzbekistan able to take first place. She's easily one of the best